Good evening. We made it through another day. Sometimes in the beginning of the day, it feels like it's never going to end. It was a little bit rough for me getting back to work today, but I'm very thankful. So, welcome everyone. Every day I go live on YouTube between 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to be notified that, if you're not a subscriber, you hit the red subscribe button. Then you hit the bell symbol. And when you hit the bell symbol, then you hit the notifications all. And then when I go live, your phone will have a red dot that comes on it. You can join the live feed. And what's special about when I go live is you can add a comment. There's a live ongoing chat, which is an ongoing conversation. I read every comment. I'm open to talk about anything: living out of a car, sex, failure, love, hate, anything, as long as it overall has a positive tone. I'm okay with different opinions. And we go from there. Also, each live feed, I pick a specific topic to structure the conversation, to start the conversation, something in life that I feel is important, that I've been through, that's like a life lesson, something to keep our mind focused on so we can be our best selves and we can push forward. Now, I have a lot of fun too. I joke around a lot because life is better lived laughed than to be too serious. That being said, let me get into some live comments before I go into the structured topic. And it is March 14th, 2018. If I didn't say that, I'd like to document the time. I got Star Pack. Star Pack's in the building. He says, "What's up, Sam?" Star Pack, what's going on? How was your day at school, if you went to school? How are you doing personally? Do you feel good today? AJ, hand up emoji. AJ, man, thank you for your consistent love, man. Love and respect to AJ with the built selfie, putting a lot of guys to shame in the gym. AJ's real buff out there. AJ looking good, brother. Hanta Mama. Hey, Mama. Hello, haven't been here in a good minute. How are you? And then she gave like the looking face question mark. I'm doing good, Mama. Always good to see you. You're always missed. But I know you're a young female who is in college trying to figure out life. When you're young, just remember that you're not going to know what you want to do until you go out into the world. It's good to get certifications. It's good to get certain degrees, but the best advice I could give to a younger person is work while you get education. Work while you learn the theory, because there's no substitute for work experience in dealing with different people. The biggest thing in business, doesn't matter what industry you're in, is learning how to deal with people, learning how to uh, send emails with the right tone, learning how to coordinate people, and trying to overall keep whatever objective you're doing in your business, try to keep the rock going forward. Because no matter what business it is, a hair salon, IT corporation, a bank, at the end of the day, each business has one objective. And how do we keep progress going forward? How do we keep everyone somewhat on the same page, because everyone is like going different directions? And learning how to deal with people without having a blow up is at the core of it. That's business. Building relationships, and things like that. There's certainly technical parts of life that you need certain skill sets, but just be conscious of that. You'll get very far in life if you learn how to deal with people well. And I'm not a people person. I like to spend most of my time by myself. And again, I would like to long term. One of my goals is to be more virtual and to work remotely. But I've worked for 20 years in different capacities, and they've all involved working around people. Even if you go remote, you still have to work with people, but you really have to be able to build relationships somewhat remotely. So, building relationships is key to excelling in a career. And that's something that really can't be taught in the classroom, because that's something you have to go out into the world and you have to, deal with people. People have different mindsets in the morning than they do in the afternoon. People have different mindsets on Mondays than they do on Fridays. So learning how to deal with that, and then having a bad day and then showing up the next day, I think those are huge career pieces of advice that I would share with someone in any industry. They're general principles that I've learned. And we don't always, sometimes I've failed, but overall I've succeeded because I've tried to keep somewhat of a good temperament, a good attitude, and productive. But Mama, good to see you. Hope you're doing good. The Leak 1000, that's my guy. Thumbs up. Or female, I forgot. Damn, I'm sorry. But I know added a great perspective to the conversation last night. Delete, good to see you. Hope you had a great day. Oh, Tom, aka Better Video Tubes. Hello all, good evening. Anyone know where this comment comes from? I know the truth. I know the whole shebang. I know the names of the men they had to hang. No, it kind of rhymes, but I don't know where that comes from, Tom. Where does it come from? Sailing John, how's it going today? And he gave all caps, another inspired day. Yes, it was a little bit tough for me this morning because today is like my Mondays. Today is the day I go back, or Wednesdays are the day I go back to my office based on my current schedule. And so in the morning, it was a little bit tough because you come back with a lot of things on your desk, and it could be overwhelming in the beginning. But it was an inspired day. Sailing John has a new video out, and you can tell he's growing. So I recommend everybody check out Sailing John, the new video. He's showing his vision to go down to Florida to take the next step in his life. And part of taking the next step is developing the vision for it and continually documenting and expressing that vision. Again, using that creativity, using that imagination and putting it together. That will give you the courage, the confidence, and the accountability to take the next step in your journey. That's why creativity is important. The more you use it, the more it pushes you to your destiny. The less you use it, the less you will go. So very important. Good job, John. I enjoyed your video. Sean Conway, brother, I appreciate you. Explain the basic concept every video to let people know. Sean, I appreciate you. I thank you. It's wild. I mean, what I'm going to talk about, my structured comment tonight is a comment that I got on one of my videos. But again, 90% of people I've met on YouTube, man, have been a blessing to me. And I thank you, Sean. Thank you, everyone, for the positivity, man. It's all love. I'm a Traveling Van. Greetings, everyone. Traveling Van hot. Traveling Van subscriber rate going up, man. He's pumping it out. Can't wait to see the next video. Traveling Van. Good to see you, brother. Keep my spot in Florida warm. Why? Because I'm going to be traveling down there this weekend, God willing. Love and respect to Traveling Van. Delete 1000. You can get far in work if you learn how you remove your competition and kiss the boss's ass. Well, that's a good comment. Obviously, I mean, the marketplace is always a competition. You're trying to show what service you can offer that either another company doesn't offer, or if they offer it, you offer it in a more pleasant manner. It's a better experience with you, right? So you have two electrical contractors. One you call up and they don't call you back. You call one electrical contractor, he calls you back within 10 minutes and he says he can be there tomorrow. Two different experiences. Two companies in the marketplace do the same thing, but the experience that the customer has is totally different. So who wins, even though they both do the same service? The one who has better people skills. Now, with regards to kissing your boss's ass, I don't believe in kissing anyone's ass. I don't believe that's healthy for you, and I don't believe it's healthy for your job place. They're certainly out there. But I also want to say very clearly, I don't believe there's any wisdom in trying to piss your boss off. Your job, as long as your boss isn't oppressing you, as long as your boss isn't asking you to do something unethical, your job is to make your manager or your boss's job a little bit easier, and that's how, I don't know any boss that wants to promote somebody that makes his life a living hell or her life a living hell, and I wouldn't either. So again, if your boss or your manager is oppressing you, treating you unfairly or something, then you have every right to speak up, to go to HR. But if your boss is overall fair and you still make your boss's life a living hell, then you're going to excel in life, and you shouldn't. I wouldn't promote anyone who is just contentious for no reason. Certainly, you have to add your own voice. You shouldn't just yes sir, yes ma'am without thinking. You have to think for yourself. But that's my experience. And I've seen some people that have everything what it takes. They have the skill set. They have overall decent personality. But for some reason, they just hate authority. I see some people on my channel, they comment because I live out of my car, and I'm going to talk about a little bit that tonight in my structured topic. I see a lot of people that live the nomadic life, or a lot of people that comment, I should say, on some of my videos, they're like for total anarchy. They resent cops, they resent government, they resent authority. I don't see any wisdom in that. I say, yes, you should question authority if they're doing something unethical. You should hold authority accountable because people do get power hungry. So all that's fair, and that's a good balance to society. But I think sometimes people just want to stick it to the cops or stick it to the government for no reason. I mean, I don't think that's wisdom. That's not part. I don't want to live in an anarchy society. I don't want to be where whoever's the strongest rules. Because without government, without authorities, you know who rules? Whoever is the most brutal. That's what happens, overseas in different countries. That, it's not the most democratic or intelligent or compassionate who rules. It's whoever can kill the most people and shut everyone up. That's what happens when you don't have governments in place and you don't have laws and regulations. So again, everything, including governments, can get out of balance. But this is my opinion on that. Isal Austin, what's going on? Hand up emoji, love and respect to you. And I hope I said the name right. If I didn't, I'll just call you Austin, love and respect, man. Thank you for joining the comment. I appreciate that. Delete 1000. I haven't learned how you kiss the boss's ass, and I don't remove my competition. I tend to help everyone do better. Sam, just checked. Confirmed mail. Thank you. I just want, because sometimes, with the names, I'm not sure, and I don't want to be disrespectful. Delete, love and respect, man. And thank you, Delete, because you always add, you had good perspective. That's part of a healthy conversation, man. Love and respect you, Delete. Shaz Room. Hello, my friend from Chicago. And then she gave, the party favor emoji. Love and respect to the windy city. Now, do I want to visit Chicago in the winter? No. There's a lot of good things happening in Chicago, but I can't get past the cold weather. You know me, something about, I got that tropic in my blood. Like, I got to be in the warm weather. But I almost went to Chicago over the summer. When I was in my exploring mood, I went up to Pittsburgh, and I was gonna go from Pittsburgh. I went into the city. I was gonna go up from Pittsburgh. I was gonna go to Ohio, then Chicago. But I decided not to because I was a little bit tired, and I was up in the hills and the mountains. I was like, man, doesn't inspire me. Pittsburgh, a beautiful city. Some of Pennsylvania is real nice, but I lose my inspiration the further I get away from the beach, and I don't like mountainous area. Now, I've seen different parts of Chicago, and Chicago's a thriving city, beautiful, but I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get up there because I know there's a lot of business there, but I'd love and respect to Chi-Town. Thank you for all your positive comments, Shay, and forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, but you know what it is, love. And thank you for your positive comments. Thank you for adding your voice, love and respect. Better Video Tubes. Song by Soul Coffin, Unmarked Helicopters. Amen. Jamelia, hey Sam, I enjoy your channel. I appreciate that. Very real life issues are discussed, and your channel is the point of discomfort at times. Thank you very much, Jamelia. Love and respect. Wandering Soul, we're about to get ready into the structured topics. There's some things I want to share with you. Wandering Soul, hey, Wandering Soul, hope you're doing good. Hope you're pushing forward. I hope your mind is at ease. I hope you have peace in your spirit, and we have to push forward. I'm a traveling van. My last boss was the best boss, all caps, ever. I was self-employed. Laugh out loud. So you're talking about himself. I'm not mad at that. Miss Serendipity, welcome back. Well, hey there, sir. With a smiley face emoji. Hey there, Miss Serendipity. Nurse Jan, woohoo! Go Sam. Love your evening chats. I love having you guys. It wouldn't be magical if I was just barking on my phone in the parking lot. Shai's Room. Come see us. Have a good time. I may come to Chicago one day. Almost came last summer. I may. Wandering Soul. Is my connection or Sam? That's a hang up. No, I just my connection just bleeped out. But I'm back, and let me get into the structure topic. So what I want to talk about tonight is the outward appearance. This came to my mind because today on my channel, like I do every day, I get which I'm thankful for. I get a bunch of different comments on all my videos. Today I got a comment on my most popular video. My most popular video was a video I did when I first started living out of my car. I shared a story about when I first started living out my car and I fell asleep at a rest stop. It was my first week literally living in a car. And I was still trying to figure things out. And so I went to this rest stop, and it was only a 2-hour rest stop, and I was sleeping there for like 3-4 hours, and the cops came and they stopped me and they asked me questions. I did a video on it. It's got almost 80,000 views. It's amazing. And so I do that. I made that video, and I was dressed, I had a bummy hoodie sweatshirt on. I had my beard. And for some people who don't know me in real life, or some people are just very judgmental on the outward appearance, they look at that video and they think I'm like homeless, I'm destitute, I don't work, I'm a bum. And so one person made a comment today on that video, and he said, why don't you just get a job, stop being lazy, get a small apartment, and just work like everyone else. He goes, I don't know why people, but then again, I guess that doesn't work for people who are lazy. And so I didn't block this guy. I didn't remove his comment. Why I blocked him, I didn't remove his comment. I responded back. Usually I don't respond because I get about 10% negative per day. And it made me reflect today, because here I am. I mean, I've worked since I was 16. I work in a corporate world. I make great money. I probably make more than this guy will ever imagine to make. And I don't say that boasting, but I say that I have to break this conversation down. This guy's looking at me and judging me, and he has no concept of what really matters in life. And it's sad because there's a lot of people like that in this world. And I've been blessed. When I was in my youth, I was exposed to different environments. I was around the very poor and I was around the very rich. I've got to see both sides of life. And I can tell you there's good and bad in both. But there's really a bad spirit and there's really a bad taste in my mouth for people who look down upon others based on the outward appearance. And it doesn't matter if they're rich or poor. It's a judgmental spirit that I've seen from poor people and I've seen from rich people. And I see it often when we get into political conversations. When the first people who usually get attacked are people who are on welfare or people who are on some type of government assistance, people love, because people come home from work. I know firefighters, who maybe work 10% of the year, the other 90% are in a firehouse cooking food. And the first thing a lot of them love to do is bash people who collect people who collect welfare or something like that. But nobody bashes, nobody cares about all, different corporate welfare. Nobody cares about that. They care about the outward appearance of somebody seeming to scam the system because they have to work and other people don't. And it reminded me of a story of a person who had to appoint a king. And he was looking for someone to appoint. And he gravitated towards someone who was tall, in very good physical outward appearance, and who looked like a leader. You look at Mitt Romney, the guy looks like a president, but his character, content, maybe not. But this gentleman, in this story, he was supposed to appoint a king, and he was looking based on the outward appearance, how he looked in the suit, how tall he was, how firm he looked, and was this guy a leader? What I call that is show muscles. What I learned in different times going to the gym, there's a lot of people that have great muscles, but if you take them out in the street and you have a fight, they're fucking weak as hell. And there's some people that look very scrawny, but they're strong as an ox. But many times people judge by the outer appearance. How big are his muscles? How good does he look in the suit? That's a leader. And so the person who was appointed to basically say who was going to be king was starting to look, let's find a king based on the outward appearance. And when he did that, the Lord rebuked him. And this comes from the book of Samuel. That's actually my full name. Now, growing up, people called me Sam, Sammy. I had a nickname called Mellow because when I was young, I was very mellow. But my full birth name is Samuel. And I really didn't embrace that until I had got older and I went on my spiritual journey. And I didn't even know Samuel was a book in the Bible, a prophet at that time. And I didn't know until I started reading the Bible for myself. And I give credit to a non-denominational church, Christ Church, that taught me a lot. Even though I had a fallout with them, they were a blessing in my life, learned a lot. And it comes from the first, it's a book in the Bible. There's many books, there's many different stories. The first Samuel, chapter 16, verse 7. But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at things as people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. And we're all guilty of this sometimes. You hear me talk about hot chicks. I got love for my overweight chicks too. But what I'm trying to tell you is we're all guilty at times, and we have to be very conscious to not judge by the outer appearance. Every time in my life that I have made a decision, now I'm going to talk about specifically in a loving relationship, when I just wanted to date the hottest girl, it's always been the wrong decision. Many times in life, when you just want the best looking car, it's going to hurt you in the long run because it's going to cost you the most and it's not going to be fulfilling. It's going to promote a life that now you have the hot car, now you need the hot clothes, and it's a whole gallivant. Not against any of those things. I'm not against dating hot girls, not against having a beautiful ride. But what I'm saying is don't be someone who sees another person in a bummy outfit or overweight in a store and says, oh, see, that's what's wrong with the healthcare system. Look at that fat slob. Don't be like that. Have character. Have godly character. There's only one thing in life that you should discern people. And it's not based on religion. It's not based on race. It's not based on culture. It's not based on gender. It's based on content of character. And we thank God Martin Luther King laid that out very clear. He's touched by God, I believe. You discern someone by their content of character. But here you go. And it just, like, even though this guy made the comment, and even though I'm a confident person, look, I'm a very confident person. I'm going to go forward regardless. I've already made up my mind a long time ago in life. And I'm doing well for myself. I'm blessed. I have people that know me in real life. They enter the chat room. I have nothing to prove. I'm not asking for money. I'm at a very good place in life. But even hearing that comment tonight on my channel, it still hurt. I want to share with you honestly now. I mean, it still hurt. And it's like amazing that it hurts, because it's like, that's not even close to who I am. It's not even close to my predicament. I mean, like I say, I've always worked. I do well for myself. I have a great career. But it hurt. And I said, wow. Here is an ungodly person who judges by the outward appearance. Because nowhere in that video, I mean, if you look at that video too, I made a point to show respect to the cops, as long as they weren't doing something oppressive. I said, respect them. I told them, like, when I realized I was wrong, I didn't know I was doing something wrong, I was willing to move. Me and the cops had a great conversation. I mean, so if you look at the content of that video, what I said, I wasn't promoting doing anything reckless. I wasn't advocating that. I was, but I look bummy. I mean, I look like a homeless guy or whatever. I mean, and that's the other thing too. I thank God for my different experiences in life. I've worked with the homeless. I spent time in the projects. I've done different things. Where to me, I don't look at any of that stuff. But then and sometimes I speak as though everyone sees it like I see it. And then that's why sometimes, like, when someone says some disrespectful, like, ignorant shit, I said, man, like, I have to be reminded, like, that spirit is out there in the world. And sometimes I forget, because also I surround myself with positive people. I don't surround myself with people that think like that. But that's part of, like, the YouTube too, where you expose yourself to the entire, not just country, but the entire world. So you get different people with these different mindsets that only experience one aspect of life. And many of these people, they're just huddled around their computer most of their life. They don't spend time in the street. They don't go from, mansions to projects. They don't travel. They're spending time in their house, and they're looking at the news, or they're looking at some controversial website that's preaching extremism. And it's very sad. And they miss out on life. And also, I want to share this specifically for the leaders. Whether you're going to be a boss, whether you're going to own your own business, whether you're going to be a manager, whether you're going to be a politician, whether you're just going to be a good friend and you're going to be a good parent. You make sure that one of your guiding principles, that's why to me soul matters, mind, body, soul. That's why to me spiritual life matters. I got friends that are atheists, but I'm being clear. To me, spiritual life matters. They're guiding foundational character principles. They guided Martin Luther King. They guided Gandhi. They guided Buddha. Hell yeah, spirituality matters. It matters to me. It doesn't have to matter to you. It doesn't matter to religion. Again, I just mentioned a couple. Buddha, not Christian. Gandhi, not Christian. And there's various other people from all different religions. So I'm just naming a few that come to my mind. But for people who really take their spirituality looking at it in the right way, and not just the outward, oh, my label is this, but the inward meaning of spirituality, which is guiding principles of a character. That's the biggest part of leadership. Leadership is not just productivity. That's part of it. Leadership is not just getting stuff done. Leadership is not just keeping everybody in line. Leadership is character at its greatest level of integrity. That's real leadership. Now, all of us are human. All of us are human. So none of us can brag, including me, that we have the greatest integrity. So, we can say, look, this politician, I agree with him on this issue, that issue, this, religious person, I agree with him on this or that. But you're never going to agree with anyone 100% because we're all human, we're all flawed. But you can always overall see, after you get past the outward, what type of character, the inward type of person you're dealing with. Because whatever is in their spirit, that's how they look through their eyes. There's some people who their eyes, they only see the outward. They only see the bummy person in the hoodie. They only see the overweight person online to order cheeseburgers. So they automatically assume this person has no self-control. They should, they deserve to have a heart attack. They're an asshole. And that's why also thank God for my diversity. I've been obese. I've seen people in my family die from obesity. I got down to the point where almost an eating disorder. I was scared to eat when I got down to 150 pounds. I've seen a lot of women I know struggle with eating disorders, high anxiety. I know skinny people who are unhealthy. And that's the other thing. People will judge the overweight person at McDonald's, but they won't say anything about the person in Wawa, the person at the corner store who's skinny but has high cholesterol. They won't know that because it's not in the outward appearance. Because the person and the people who judge by the outward appearance, what they're showing you is their inward appearance. And inward appearance is content of character. And I talked about college, I talked about learning your job and all these different things in life. That's the number one thing you need to know in life. Look, you're going to have to work with some people that have no character. So you better get over that shit. But you can work with people that have no character and still maintain your own. And you can live a life where you have fun. I mean, some of my videos serious, just a little bit of a serious tone tonight. But I mean, I joke around a lot too. I mean, if you look at over 600 videos now I have, you'll see a content of character. And let us remember, now I'm going to get back to the live comments. I know it's going a little bit long, but this really was on my heart tonight. It was something I went through. And again, I thank God for the diverse perspectives that I've got to see in life. That has been the biggest blessing in my life, above education and everything. See, I have the ability, and that's the grace of God, to talk real reckless and wild, but I also have the ability to calm myself down and talk real clear and intelligent, all these different things, and deal with how some people judge the outward world. And see, some people don't have that ability to hit the switch. They often say, like, you know, people that are great athletes, right? Like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, you know, Larry Bird, whoever, it doesn't matter. That they have the ability to hit a switch. Like, they'll take a couple quarters off if they have to, because they know when the time comes, they'll hit a switch. And like I hear, when I used to really follow basketball, and as I, became a nomad, I stopped following basketball only because I don't want to follow any sports anymore once I stopped eating. But I love basketball. It was one of my favorite sports. I wanted to be in the NBA, but I wasn't able to. All right, so towards the end of the year, around this time of year, there was always talk we're getting close to the playoffs in the NBA. And they always used to say at this time of the year, certain stars will turn it on. They'll hit the switch. The problem with that is, I heard one analyst break it down. I think it was Reggie Miller. He said, see, the superstars have the ability to hit the switch, the LeBron James, the Michael Jordans, and all these people. But the other role players, they don't have that ability to hit the switch. They have to kind of be in that mode. And that's why it's important to build good habits over the course of the whole season. That's why it's important to build good habits over the course of your entire life. Because some people have the ability to talk real reckless and then next minute temper themselves and be in a conference room. See, most people don't. And it doesn't make anyone better than anyone. This is what I'm trying to show you. The person who's able to hit the switch doesn't make him better than the role player. We're all the same. No one is above you and no one is beneath you. We're all the same. We all have different gifts. That's the key. See, sometimes you could have somebody has the gift to be great at basketball, or the gift to speak well, or the gift to teach well, or we think that, this person's better. No one's better than anyone. But there's better character than other people. And that's what I'm talking about tonight. But even like today, I feel at my job, when I got in, I was very overwhelmed. My first day back in the office for the week, there was a lot on my plate. And I felt very stressed out and a lot of pressure on me. And I remember the words of my sister came to my mind. My sister struggled with drugs most of her life. My sister, one of my sisters, and I say this in love, not in judgment, but I have to share with you. One of my sisters struggled with drugs her entire life, with heroin when she was young and prescription drugs as she got older. And she's been a blessing to me, so I'm not in negative tone I'm saying this. But I remember her sharing once she had stopped working, because now she collects, disability or whatever it is. I remember when she had stopped working, she said, Sam, you don't understand. For me to go to work, it stresses me out too much. I can't handle the pressure, and then I go to drugs. I can't be in that environment. I can't handle that much pressure. Now, I have mixed feelings on that. I mean, I've become more understanding as I've become older. I used to say, look, just get a job. Some people don't have the same capacity as others. Now, I think everyone should do something productive because, again, I've seen people who have fought to get disability and they've gotten it and they've just destroyed their life too. God has made us to be productive. The key thing is everyone isn't the same. So I'm not saying everyone should be in a corporate world with a lot of pressure on them. I'm not saying we're all different. So I can't figure out everyone's life. In some capacity, whatever it is for you, whether it's like a formal job or whether it's something you do that's productive, we're made to be productive. I truly believe that idle time is the devil's playground. I've seen it in my life. I've seen it in others. But what I will say is that I have a level of compassion, and I felt that this morning when I had a lot of pressure on me to get caught up on some tasks at my job. I said, man, I could see how someone different than me would then allow this stress to manifest through whether it's drug use to numb the pain or whether it's through eating. Because I know a lot of people that would feel the pressure of life and they would turn to eating, or they would turn to drugs, or they would turn to alcohol, or they would turn to, unhealthy relationships. Because pressure and pain on us mentally makes us want to relieve that pain and take something to stimulate our mind to a happier place. And there's different times in my life where I feel this pain and it helps me to understand, look, Sam, you have to remember everyone isn't like you. And because I've been broken a few times like this, that allows me to have a greater level of empathy without losing a direct talk. Again, I do believe people need to be productive. I believe, you need to stay engaged in life, however you have to define that. But these are all my thoughts tonight that deal with people who look at the outward appearance and then make a comment. People who look at the outward appearance and make a judgment. Always remember throughout your journey in life to look with the inward eye, to look with the inward soul. Because God does not judge as people judge. He doesn't look for who looks best in the tailored suit, who looks best in the yoga pants. Sometimes I look for that. He doesn't look at the outward. He looks at the inward, the content of character. Let that be a guiding principle to your life. You'll still be human, you'll still fail, but you will have a greater level of integrity, you will have a greater level of discernment, you will have a greater level of empathy, and you will have a greater level of compassion. Does that matter? Yes. And if you don't think that matters, you look at someone who doesn't have integrity. You look at someone who doesn't have empathy. You look at someone who doesn't have compassion. And they're very uninspiring. Very uninspiring. I don't care how much they get done. I don't care how much they make. I don't care what their living situation is. I don't care how many subscribers. For me, part of being inspired and living an inspired life is being someone who looks at the inward. All right, that's it. That's pretty serious tonight, but I had to share that. Let me get back to some comments, who's ever still left here. Austin, I said, Dalik, Better VTubes, Jamelia, what's up? Hey. Sabernipity. Yeah, Sharon, read that. Dolores, all right, I'm back up to the comments. Dolores from New Hampshire. Hey, watching you on Roku. Yes, I still haven't checked out Roku. I believe that's just when you watch it on the big screen TV. When I still have my condo, I used to kick my YouTube on my app on my phone. I had a smart TV. I kick it up to that, and I watch YouTube on that. Thank you, Dolores, for adding a comment. Can you still comment when you watch on Roku? I guess you can. Traveling Van says, King Saul and King David, two totally different. Yes. I'm a traveling van is 100% right. So that comes from the book of Samuel. Samuel appointed the two different kings. David, they both had their failures. Of course, King David eventually, didn't he fail? Didn't he basically have committed adultery and have the wife's husband killed? Everyone's imperfect, and the Bible itself isn't perfect, but what the Bible shows us is principles, stories, and so do other religious scriptures. I mean, I'm just most familiar with that because that's how I grew up, but I respect, all different religious scriptures that teach something positive, and beneficial to, living life well. But yes, that's where it comes from, and those are the two kings that book references. Pat, hey Sam, how are you, Pat? Pat says, how am I today? Yes, I broke it down. Overall, I feel positive and thankful. Pat, how are you and how's your husband? Start back. I'm back. My internet cut off for a minute. No worries, so did mine. How are you? We did the walkout today in school. Oh, did you? Okay. Starpack was telling us last night he was going to do a walkout as part of the gun control rally. And we had a little bit of a discussion, healthy debate last night on the pros and cons of gun control. I see things on both sides. I don't want to replay that whole conversation, but how'd that go, Star Pack? Cody with the red hair. Love and respect to that red hair. I love it. Very creative. Yeah, I used to not like black people because I judged their appearance. But then I realized that, yeah, I don't like that tone. I wouldn't recommend calling. Yeah, Cody, I understand that. I want to give you a chance to be gracious here. Now, I know some people just want to contentious, but I'm not going to allow anyone to be disrespected. I don't like, the term blackies. I think that's disrespectful. Just like I wouldn't like somebody to call somebody crackers. So it's up to you. I mean, I give you one more shot. I want to be fair, but I'm not going to allow an unhealthy environment. It's not good, and I don't like that. Jamelia, Sam, I recall one of your videos which said your approval don't mean nothing to me. So why people you judge or anyone? Yes, I mean it's a mindset of that you have to go throughout life that you're not looking for people's approval. If you're looking for people's approval, you're never going to get to your destiny. Because one is either you're going to look to make everyone happy, you're going to be a people pleaser, or you're going to be the other extreme. You're going to be a complete asshole and you're not going to care what anyone thinks. So when I say, and when there's a scripture that Jesus and then Paul the Apostle said that your approval means nothing to me, it's not to have the extreme mindset of be a people pleaser or fuck everyone. It's the mindset of I'm going to fulfill my destiny, which has the underlying theme that as long as I'm not hurting anyone, then I have to go forward. And I have to do what I feel I'm called to do. It's a mindset. Now, I know some people see that video and some people can't understand that balanced mind because some people look at the extremes, but that's the mindset that I was referencing. Start back. Well, more for a minute. Gilbert, everyone, Sammy. 2 of my uncles were named Samuel. Strong name. It is a strong name. I've been blessed to come to know that. But, I mean, any name can be strong. I mean, I don't want to, it doesn't matter what your name is, but I've come to know the great meaning in it, and it has inspired me. But, I would encourage you, no matter what your name is, again, it is about the inward character. Doesn't matter if your name is Samuel, Joe, Muhammad, Alicia. It doesn't matter. None of that shit matters. But how you view yourself matters. And that's why I guess that when I came to know Samuel and it was in the Bible, it inspired me because then I said, wow, there's something magical about this. But I also knew someone, I guess names matter in a sense, but not really. I knew someone who was named Cain. And of course, Cain and Abel. Cain was the bad brother and Abel was the good brother. And Cain was a little bit of a rebel. When I knew him as a friend, I knew some guy I met along my journey. And he was a little bit of a rebel. I don't know if he was trying to live up to that name, but me and him got along. He never did anything to hurt me. I never did anything to hurt him. So, I think about that sometimes. Do names matter? I think they matter a little bit, but I never think they define your destiny, right? So it doesn't matter if you're named Cain or you're named Abel, to a point where it defines you. You define yourself. Paul the Apostle, I think, was named Saul, right? Saul, then he changed his name to Paul. So some people change their name for various reasons. I got no problem with that. But, really the name change is just like a signal. It's just a symbol of that you want to change. You don't necessarily have to change your name to be different. Right? Doesn't matter what you are. If you change your name from Bruce Jenner to Caitlyn Jenner. You still have your same soul, but some people feel like they need to manifest that in an actual name change for their own. And if that's part of their journey, I got no issue with that. So a name change has a little bit of significance, but you always are who you are. And your character is, it doesn't matter, good or bad. It's, so you always have to remember, that's part of the inward. Nurse Jan. Beautiful comments, Sam. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being part of the conversation, Nurse Jan. Love and respect to you. And I always appreciate you coming in and showing love. Thank you, Nurse. Jamelia. Don't be affected or worried about their views. And then she gets quotation marks. Sorry, this is part of my comment a moment ago. Accidentally pressed send. No worries. I appreciate that, Jamelia. I appreciate you in the conversation. Renee, hey Sam, smiley face. Not, hey everyone, happy Wednesday. Yes, it's hump day. Hope everyone is having an awesome, blessed day. Smiley face emoji, yes. Yes, puts a smile on my face. It's hump day. Does hump day matter? Yeah, it matters a little bit because it's another reason to smile. Let's not get too serious. I like to talk serious, but also like to have a good time. So we're almost at Friday if you work a conventional work week, but most of the times I work on Saturdays. This Saturday I don't have to work. So there's a lot of people, especially in today's society, that don't work just anymore Mondays through Friday. A lot of people work the weekends, work the nights. I've worked every shift under the sun. So, but for most people on a regular conforming work week, this is halfway through their work week, and certainly for children that are in school. So it feels better. I mean, it is interesting. No matter what your work week is, Fridays feel different than Mondays. You can never get around that. It's like the energy you feel at a concert. It's just a bunch of people excited about something and you get energy from it. I mean, it's unexplainable. The League 1000. I have the greatest integrity, and then he gave a wink. Aha. Amen. It's good to laugh, brother. Dalik, love and respect, man. You're always welcome here, Dalik. Thank you. Honor soul. Yes, they do. I was underweight for the majority of my life, and so many people would comment, you need a sandwich. Oh, that's hurtful too. Do you eat? I had a guy approach me at a bar to tell me he was genuinely worried about my health. I told him I was genuinely worried about his if he didn't get the fuck off of my face. Rude people are rude regardless. Yes, and I have to confess, I was ignorant like that too. When I was overweight or just moderately overweight during that part of my journey, I remember a girl I knew had started dieting, and I used to say to her, like, yo, you need to eat, make sure you're still eating. And I didn't realize like that was hurtful to her. Because then when I had lost a lot of weight, when I was all the way down to 150, right now I'm about 210, 215. When I got down to 150, a lot of people had lovingly said, Sam, look, you're getting too skinny now. You got to eat something. And I would get hurt when people say that. And I'm like, who the fuck are you to tell me that, But they really said it lovingly, but it was hard for me to receive, and it was very hurtful. Again, God allowed me to see both extremes. He allowed me to see extreme obesity and down to an eating disorder, anorexia. And now I'm kind of like, I balanced out. I'm in the middle. But seeing both extremes has given me great perspective. Just like I talked about, early in my life, I've got to see poverty, and then I also got to see very wealthy people. And seeing the different perspectives, you're never going to understand it till you go through it. You're never going to understand how it hurts somebody to be called, like to say, like, you need to eat something, you're too skinny. That's just as hurtful as someone saying, look, you shouldn't eat anymore, you're too big. But you'll never understand that pain until you feel it. Just like this morning, feeling the pressure of my job, I heard my sister's voice ring in my head of how it was tough for her to get a job because she would feel the pressures of a job, and all that responsibility would push her to drugs. And I understand now. Look, I'm the first one to say, look, you should still do something. But I still have compassion. And I can understand that not everybody has the mental strength that you have or that I have. I think everyone has some gift that they can use in life. But just always remember that everyone has different gifts. And that'll keep you out of that judgment zone. Cody retracted. No worries, Cody. Soul love. Dolores, true comfort food. Yes, I love fried chicken. I love Chinese food for a while. But that shit really does shut your body down. I'm not going to begrudge anyone for eating it because I ate it for years. So who am I to sit on my high horse now? And I'm moderately overweight now because I overeat healthy stuff. But I'm at a healthy place. I mean, I want to enjoy life too. That's the other thing I learned. Like, I ate everything I wanted, and then I felt like crap, and I didn't even want to move. And then I didn't eat anything. And then life gets a little bit unenjoyable there too because you have no, like, pleasantry. Like, you're so disciplined. You're rigid. You don't enjoy life. You got to find a balance. Not easy to find a balance. Most of your life journey is going to be about finding your balance. Because what you're going to realize that everyone has their own balance, or they're struggling to find theirs, and they're trying to tell you either how they're searching for their balance or what you should do to get balance. But no one can tell you what your balance is going to be. No one can tell you that you're meant to live out of a car, or you're meant to live in an apartment, or you're meant to live in a house. You're not, you have to find your own. No one can tell you, this is the amount of weight you should. I mean, people can give you general direction, but you kind of have to figure out your own path. That no one can do that for you. And it's a very interesting thing. Dolores, food is my drug. Yes, I mean, that's what I learned when I became obese. I mean, I used to be a little bit judgmental towards my sister, who was, again, addicted to heroin, and towards people who would get addicted to alcohol. And then I said, in one sense, am I addicted to food now? And that's just the same. I mean, obesity is the number 2 killer is the number 2 cause of preventable deaths. The number 1 cause of preventable deaths is tobacco. That's a drug. The number 2 cause of preventable deaths is obesity-related diseases. The number 3 cause of preventable deaths is alcohol. So all top 3 are drugs. Food is a drug, alcohol is a drug, and cigarettes are a drug. I smoked cigarettes too when I was younger. It was very tough to beat that habit. So I mean, you have to break that bondage, but it is a very tough thing, and some people aren't able to hit that switch. Like I was talking about, some star athletes, they have the ability to hit the switch. It's playoff time. It's the fourth quarter. I have to hit a switch, and they can hit it. There's some people that they dress however they want. You know, they could talk wild, and then they have to hit a switch to go into work, to be a professional, and to handle like corporate bit. And it's like, not everyone can hit the switch that same way. And we have to be careful not to judge on that, because that's a little bit of the outward appearance. Everyone has different capacity. But everyone does have something to offer. I truly believe that, in their own way. My man Cody. Most people can't handle their drugs, hence the opiate epidemic. A great point. I totally agree with that, brother. And I've seen that in my own family. Because I've seen family members go from heroin addiction to prescription drug addictions, and that's all tied into the opioid problem that America's facing. I have extreme compassion. I mean, obviously, you have to try to get off, but it's tough. I mean, if you ever had a family member on drugs, and obviously if you struggle with different things in your life, whether it's cigarettes, food, it's not easy. And I always say, it's not only by the grace of God I was able to overcome cigarettes and food. I never was in any hard drugs. The most drugs I ever did was alcohol and weed. I never did anything harder than that. But even those, I mean, we all know alcohol and cigarettes can be very addictive. Even at one point, I would say when I was in my 21, I was a little bit addicted to weed, but nothing crazy. But all I can say is, obviously you have to say it's not healthy, but then you just have to focus on your own life. So what I've learned in growing up with people who are addicted to drugs is, I can't focus on what I need to do to help them. What I need to do is focus on my own life, do what I can control, focus on what I can control, and then just, be gracious to them, but I have to have boundaries. I mean, that's the biggest thing I learned. I mean, a part of my youth, I tried to see what I could do to help somebody. Then you realize you can't really help anyone in this world. All you can do is try to lead by example and try to be respectful to others. And the other thing you learn is you have to have boundaries, even with family members, even with friends, whoever, doesn't matter. Because if you don't have boundaries, you're not going to stay in a healthy place. I mean, even to this day, I love some of my family members, but I've limited contact. It's not because out of disrespect. Some of them have done great things for me. They've helped me. But to keep myself in a healthy place mentally, physically, spiritually, I have to have certain boundaries. And again, it's not out of disrespect, but that's what you learn. If you ever dealt with somebody in your real life, you know what this is. There's nothing you can really do. Certainly you show love and compassion, but certainly you can't enable. And it's very hard, especially for parents. And you have to have boundaries. This is my life experience with dealing with people with drugs. Shai's room. Sam, you need someone watching your board because I am noticing someone being disrespectful. I'll scroll down. If I see disrespect, it'll get removed. Gilbert, I have found that a lot of people put up a great outward appearance, but it reflects nothing of what is actually going on inside of them. It is like tears of a clown when there's no one around. Yeah, most people that front, and certainly if I scroll down, I'm going to see some probably disrespectful comments. Most of the people who leave a disrespectful comment or are just worried about the outward appearance, they're people that are really hurt inside. I've never met a healthy person that is happy with themselves that looks to tear down others. I've never met it. I know what it is. So, that's what also gives me a confidence. Like, somebody that's built their life on, trying to be funny and trying to, be disrespectful or trying to show off, it's all based on insecurities. It's all based on, they're not happy with their life. Misery loves company. So, I know what that is, too. That's why I push past all that. And that's why I don't get caught up in, that was the other thing I reflected on today. When I was driving around in a Jaguar, in a Range Rover, and when I had fancy clothes, and when I had a nice condo, my net worth was very low because most of my money was spent on maintaining things. But someone would look at me, they would see my car, they would see my house, and they said, this guy's worth a lot of money. But all my money was spent on those things. I was worth very little net worth. Now it's the opposite. And, one person also commented on one of my videos. He said, I don't believe, you have a job. I don't believe you work. No one who works would dress like you and this and this and that. And it's amazing. But if he saw me dressed up, and if I put the beach behind me and I put a suit on, automatically he thinks the opposite. But if you look at most people who sell something, most people who give you infomercials on how to get rich, they have a beach behind them, they have a suit, they have a nice car. And if someone's really that rich, why are they selling you a something that can get you rich for $19.99. I remember one time somebody was on the side of the road in a Lexus and they had a flat tire, and they were like begging for help. They said, "Please help me. You know, I know you see my car and you think, well, I could call for AAA, but I'm totally broke. I got no money, and I can't even afford to call for like a pickup." So, you know, it's just you got to be very careful. Now the problem is a lot of times the outward appearance may be true, right? So I'm not trying to say like, you know, there's going to be plenty of times in life that the outward appearance may tell the actual story. Somebody's dressed like a bum, or somebody's dressed rich, and maybe. But the problem is you know, sometimes if you meet 10 people and seven of them on the outward, that's actually who they are. There may be 3 people that are nothing like their outward appearance, or that's not who they are. So you just have to be careful in life. And this is just a reminder. This is a reminder. It's a guiding principle for all of us, myself included. Gilbert, false facades can be very harmful. They can, and I've done that in my life. So again, I'm in one of my failures. When I was young and when I was immature, again, when I was a child, I acted like a child, spoke as a child, and reasoned as a child. When I became a man, I put away childish things. When I was younger and immature, I was all about dressing up, impressing people. I was never an asshole. I mean, I'm sure I had my asshole moments. But I was about the facade too. I was about the outward appearance. I wanted to show off. I wanted people to, you know that I had made it. So I was just as guilty as that. And I'm not mad at anyone who wants to do that. Just like I'm not mad at anyone that wants to eat but I'm just trying to say that you have to be conscious of the character, and you got to be conscious that you don't lose yourself in the midst of that. Because a lot of times when you're portraying something, you have to keep up, like a man Gilbert said, you have to keep up that facade, and to keep up that facade, you lose the inner being. And when you lose the inner being, you lose yourself. I mean, my circle says be you for a reason. Because the minute you try to put your energy and your resources into a facade, you lose yourself. You know, there's people that get married for 20 years, and a lot of the common thread things that I've heard is, you know, what happened? And many people say, well, I lost myself in the relationship. You know, and when you lose yourself in life, whether it's keeping up with outward appearances or whatever it may be, you will find the core problem with that is you lose yourself. And that's why you have to be very careful. Carm83. Yo, Carm in the house. What's up, brother? Just got in from work thing. What's up, Sammy? Carm, love and respect to you, brother. Dolores. I am commenting on my cell phone. Cody. Cody, man, I love you, man. I see you. I checked out your channel too before, like on one of your previous comments. Not in this chat room, like in one of my videos. And I know that the description of your channel says you're gonna say shit until you're blocked. There's something like that describes his channel. The description of my channel says inspiration. Like the description of Cody's channel says, I leave shitty comments until like I'm blocked. I'm paraphrasing. But I mean, Cody, I mean, I block tons of people. I want to give you a little bit of grace because I mean, I see a lot of potential in some of the things like I've seen on the different comments. Like it's love, but I'll give you a little more grace, man, because I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to be gracious. But if it gets crazy, you know, I mean, you know, I understand though, life ain't easy. Like because I feel that way completely. There's plenty of people, like, as soon as they say the wrong thing, I block them. But I feel a little bit like, you know, there's potential there and there's love. But Cody, oh my bad, I didn't know it was bad. I'm sorry. No, that's what I'm trying to feel it out too. I'm trying to, you know, give you room to be you, because I don't want to like make you be like all proper if that's not who you are. But also, like, I gotta keep a healthy environment for myself and others. But I want to respect that everyone's different. I'm trying to be respectful too. We'll see how it works out. Start back. What do you think about AI, artificial intelligence? I think it can be a great thing. I think there could be some negative. Just like anything powerful. Anything powerful has potential to be great, but it also has the potential to be abused. Anything of great power can be used for a great reason, but it also could be used for great abuse. Whether it's the Bible, whether it's artificial intelligence, you know, whether it's beauty. If your gift is beauty, I mean, that could be used for the, you know, you could be Ruth, or, you know, you could be Delilah. I mean, if you have, you know, wealth, it could be used for the good, or it could be used to control others. If you have intelligence, it could be used to enlighten others, or it can be used to control others. Anything of great power, whether it's a gift, whether it's a resource, whether it's a, I mean, I would look at artificial intelligence as a resource for humanity. It could either be used for something good for humanity, or it could be abused. And I'm sure throughout the course of history, it will be both. It will be used for the good, and there will be times it will be abused. And that's like everything great in life, just like the Bible too. I mean, we know that. There's been times where the Bible has been used to save people's lives, to get them on track, and it's also been used to control, manipulate, and to take their money. I mean, the Book of Eli, you ever see the movie The Book of Eli? I definitely recommend that with Denzel Washington. Great movie. And it was about Armageddon in the future. Like the nuclear war had happened. It doesn't give the specifics, but basically nuclear war had happened. Society was like basically only holding on by a thread. We were back to the caveman time. There was no like technology. There was no infrastructure. And Denzel Washington was the last person basically on earth that had the Bible. And he was walking in the desert land, I think on like towards the West Coast. And there was a town that he had came across that was controlled by like a bad guy. And the bad guy was searching out for who had the last Bible or who had a copy. Why? Not because he wanted to enlighten people. He said, if we get the Bible, what we can do is we can control people without having to like, use our guns. And if we can control them, we can get them to build our cities, do this, and that's what we want. So I need you to go out there and find the Bible. So Denzel was the opposite. He had the last version of the Bible, but he didn't want to use it to control people. He wanted to use it to set people free. Spiritually, mentally, all these different things, right? Wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And I've come to set the captives free. So they cross heads. They run into each other. Denzel gets to this town. And like they go after Denzel because they want the copy of the last Bible. And then there was that girl in there too. But that was the whole essence of the movie. It's like, anything of power. Again, I'm using that as an example. But anything of power could be used for good or it could be used to abuse others or control others. Let me see if I can go back. Let me just see here. I'm just trying to read to make sure we're not going out of control here. All right, I'm going to leave it in for a little bit. Bear with me, guys. We're getting there. Star Pack, what do you think about... I answered that, I'm sorry. I'm a traveling van. I think you made a wise choice, Wandering Soul. I think they are trolling. Yeah, it's possible. I'm going to take a look at that. Star Pack, yes, it may be a troll, but we shall see what happens. Let's just be gracious. Let's see. I mean, Shy, the Wandering Soul. Thanks, Wandering Soul. Cody, I need to chill. Wandering Soul, did it block for the room? I thought it was for me. It'll probably only block if I block it. It's only for you. Star Pack, those that did not block him can still see. Better video tubes. Anytime someone says, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, they aren't. Cody is proof of that, and this takes away from the conversation. Sam can block him if he chooses. No, I understand that, and I'm going to be sensitive to that. I'm trying to... We'll see. Star Pack, even positive stereotypes can be harmful. Oh, I agree with that. I mean, again, you got to take it each individual person. Wandering Soul, that's what I thought. Lucky you guys. I have zero tolerance for personality policy, that kind of mess. No, you shouldn't. Look, I want it to be healthy for everyone. So if anyone's going to get disrespected, they're going to get blocked. Because, I don't disrespect people and I don't want anyone to feel hurt. I'm traveling van, me too. I'm a traveling man. Life is too short. Wandering Soul, absolutely. Cody, offense. I didn't know that I was flipping it around. Was someone taking negative? I apologize. Cody, at Better Video Tubes, you keep being disrespectful. You could pull up. Oh, come on, guys. Dolores, my name means Lady of Sorrows. Cody, please don't pick a fight with Better Video Tubes. Yes, Better Video Tubes is a great man. We like to keep friendly environment that everyone, we don't fight over something. Yeah, my partners always fight over the cost. I ain't following it. All right. Well, one is, Better Video Tubes is a great man. Cody, I'm giving you grace, and I see you trying to stay with me. So all I'm saying is, look, I'm nobody's father, all right? And but I'm gonna treat you like a man. I understand you're young. I've been young, so we just have to go forward. If we go forward, we can all go forward together. If we can't, then we have to have boundaries. But that's all I'm gonna say. And now we're gonna go forward. That's it. I'm not gonna talk to anybody like their child. Try to talk to everybody like their adult. I'm a traveling van. Me too. I'm a traveling van. Life is short. Wandering soul, absolutely. Dolores, my name means Lady of Sorrows. Is that what that means? Made me think of the song from Sade, King of Sorrow. And that's that's kind of what the song was about. That she felt everyone's pain, and she was like taking everyone's burden on her soul. Make a mental note of that. Never take everyone's burden on your soul. Bear each other's burdens. Have compassion on each other. But you can't take all the sadness of the world on your soul, because all that's going to do is steal your joy, and you're not going to be able to push forward and to inspire anyone. And you're not going to be inspired. You're going to be very sad all the time. You got to be very careful. Star Pack. Cody, please don't pick a fight with BBT. I read that. I got you, Star Pack. I'm watching everybody. Dogs and Rigs. Cody, literally, he's young. I mean, I've been young. Wandering Soul. What is there for him to be upset about? Good Lord. Cody, yeah, my parents always fight over the cost of rent and stuff, which is why I'm here to learn how to live in a car. I ain't following in their footsteps. Cody says I'll be 13 in May. Well, I hear you, Cody. I mean, I came from, my parents got divorced at the age of 8. At the end of their marriage, I mean, like, I remember being 8 and my father throwing dishes and it getting crazy in the house. I mean, I ran away a couple times, but only for like a day. But my mother was loving. Even my father was, he was a decent guy. He wasn't a bad guy, but their relationship was toxic because they were just two different people. And I pushed my mom towards the end. I said, Ma, I know it's not easy for you to change. I know she's a very loving person and, doesn't have the best self-confidence. I said, but you got to get out of this relationship. It's killing us. It's killing me. Even then, like, I had high blood pressure and stuff because it was too much stress on me. And what I've learned through that experience is sometimes, the only thing that will cause an insecure mother possibly to leave an unhealthy relationship is for the well-being of her children. There's nothing like a mother's love for her children. That being said, I have seen some mothers I've seen some mothers who picked an unhealthy relationship over their children. So I can't make a blanket statement, but I can speak from my experience that was the final decision that caused my mom to finally get a divorce. I think if my mom didn't have 3 children, she would probably be in an unhealthy relationship. My mom left in the will one of the most powerful things I will take with me to the day the Lord calls me home. She wrote, children, remember this one life lesson. Never let anyone control you. That's powerful. That was my mom's last will and testament. That was my mom's last message she wanted to leave with her children. Never let anyone control you. I think if you can remember that, you've got the best inheritance you can ever get. Take that lesson with you now, all right? I'm a traveling van. Sorry to hear your situation. Starpack, can you go to his channel and playlist? He has some good videos near the bottom. Cody, no, it's fine. Just trying to learn. I understand. Thank you. I'm a traveling van. Forgive me, guys. I know because I'm getting a little bit lagged on this. I'm a traveling van. There's always a silver lining. I'm a traveling van. You have come to the right channel. Sam is full of wisdom, and he has many videos on his channel to encourage and to inspire people. All of us here have been benefited greatly. You can too. I mean, that's true. I mean, again, one is I'm still imperfect, right? So, but thank you, and people have inspired me too. The other thing is, there was no way at 13 I was able to receive anything. So, I'm not saying I'm going to save anyone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my life. I'm going to plant a seed. That still means, like, that's what I learned from people with drug addicts. That one day they'll tell you they love you, like, I'm going to change, and the next minute they're doing reckless shit. So if it gets too reckless, if it gets too unhealthy for me, I'll block. I'll put up boundaries. Not because I don't hate anyone. I got love for everyone. But I at some point, I'll go forward. I mean, I'll go forward regardless, but at some point, I'll boundary up. But I give enough grace until I feel that it's time to go on. So I say I will be compassionate. I'll share my life for everyone. And some people, it may help. Some people, it may not help. Some people, it may help 1 minute, and then they're going to experience their own pain in life, and they're going to totally flip out again. I'm not here to control anyone, but I will have boundaries. And so I will be conscious of other people's feelings and my own. And that's a general statement. That's not directed to anybody, but this is how I feel about life. Starpack. Let's move on to a new topic, shall we? We're going forward. Tony Williams, what's up, man? What's going on? I'm a traveling van. Of course, that sounds wonderful. Starpack. He's always watching. That's right. Dolores, I'm in the house. My mother threw the dishes. Laugh out loud. Yeah, that's crazy, right? I mean, it's very it's tough for a child to see his parents fighting, because when you're a young kid, like, you think it's tough, man. It's tough when parents fight, man. But we have to go forward. We can't, we can't be defined by our parents. We can't be defined by them. Eventually we have to grow up. We have to become our own adults. We have to take accountability for our life, and we have to push forward. But I understand that. Pat, has your dad ever fessed up to you and your family? Well, I got back into a relationship with my father when I got to about like 20, and we built a relationship for like, 10, 15 years. And we had a lot of deep conversations about, all right, this is the issues I had with you in the past. This is the issues I had with you. We both kind of like said, all right, we accept that. Let's move forward. And then 10, 15 years later, over the course of building this new relationship with him, when I had begun the journey of, downsizing my life and moving out of his car, he totally flipped out on me. And he started throwing old shit back up in my face, and, started saying disrespectful shit about my mother and just about life. And he became the same man he was before we even started to repair our relationship. There are certain people that, I hate to say this, because now I'm going to really there's certain people that when someone shows you who they are, believe them. So that's why some of you guys are right to, as soon as you see somebody be disrespectful, cut them off. Because I believe that's a true statement to some extent, but I also believe that people can change. But I've been hurt a lot of times by people who change for a little while, but then eventually they show who they really are again. And you have every right, whether it's the minute they show you who they are, or if you want to try to give them grace, but you have every right to cut someone off completely and go on with your life. Because that's what happened. I said to myself, damn, it's been 15 years since we've been rebuilding this relationship. And because I do something you disagree with, you go right back to, being an asshole. But it was also, I saw who he was throughout the years. He was a very contentious person, and a big Trump supporter. And we disagreed on that, but it was just like who he was, like under the skin. Like, he'd be good one minute and he'd be bad the next minute. What I think with my father is he didn't have the capacity to deal with children. He doesn't have the capacity to deal with too much pressure. When he gets scared and when his mind has too much pressure on it, he lashes out. And I understand that because I've been hurt by life, and I have empathy for people who, once you put too much pressure on their mind, they lash out or they self-medicate. I understand that, but no one has the right to disrespect you or to hurt you. No one. Not your father, not your mother, not your friend, not damn sure not somebody on YouTube. That's why I always watch that. Now, what I will say is you have every right to cut people off. Period. With no explanation either. And eventually I get to that point. See, sometimes people confuse me, because sometimes I'm very compassionate. I'm very patient. And then people do one thing that pushes me over the edge, and I cut them the fuck off, or I do, and then they don't understand where that came from. Because for a while, there's, oh my God, you're so compassionate, you're so sensitive. But then they go too far, and they think I can't go the opposite way. They think I can't totally cut them out or totally, do some shit. And like they look at me like, but I'm very compassionate, but also I don't take no shit. At a certain point, like, damn sure I ain't gonna take no shit. So it's a balance. Star Pack, if you could change one thing in life, what would it be? Great question, Star Pack. I think that's a great question to ask everyone, ask yourself. I'm just starting my car so my battery don't go out. I at this point, there's nothing pressing on my mind that I say I would change. I often say this. I will say, when my dog became elderly, I came home a couple days from work and I wasn't patient enough with her. I was stressed out at work. I was taking on too much risk in my life. I had too much responsibility on my plate. And what sticks out in my mind as one of my failures is my dog was towards the end of her life. She couldn't hold her bladder and she was just struggling with life. And I never hit my dog. I never abused it. But there were just a couple days when I came home from work that I wish I just would have been a little bit more patient and compassionate with her, rather than just like, oh, come on, fuck. And in my mind, I'm gonna be honest with you now, I'm sharing my soul, is that I was like, oh, I almost wish you fucking die already, because it's just too much of a burden on me. And I love my dog with all my heart, but just in my mind, that's why I say that. And even though she was a dog, she can't read my mind. She felt that, in my opinion. And that's a failure. I failed there. And it's just tough. And then come to the point that eventually I put my dog down. I mean, that fucked with my mind for like fucking years. I mean, but my dog was almost 11 years old. You know, she had cancer. So, I mean, I could justify that, you know, everything I did. But I will say that if I had one thing to do over again, I would have taken on less responsibility, less risk, and had more patience with her. But when you see someone suffering and they're at the end of their life, doesn't matter if it's a dog or a human, I think, if I would share anything with you, that's going to be the hardest part of your life. If you're ever going to experience a loved one, whether it's a human or an animal, at the end of their life when they're suffering for years, and there's nothing you can do to help them. You can be patient, you could be loving, you can take them to doctors. I did all those things. But you can't cure age. You can't cure suffering to some extent. And you get to a point of being a caretaker where you can't take anymore. And it's a burden on you to take care of them. And in your mind, you wish they would just die already. Because there's nothing you can do. It hurts you to see them suffering. And it's a horrible place to be in life. But all of us experience that sometimes. So I think that's the most honest and sincere thing I can share with you that may help you along your journey. Dolores, maybe that's where I got it from. I grew up those days. Yes, I mean, I give a lot of credit to people of the older generation who grew up in very strict households, because that was just the way people raised kids back then. And it's not easy. So love and respect to that generation, because it's just a different time. It's time in history. But there's also people still going through that shit in their own way. Wandering soul. I wish my parents had divorced. My father was about to divorce my mom when suddenly she was diagnosed with liver failure from drinking. Instead of divorcing her, he donated his liver. Wow, that's powerful. Shy's room. Hey Sam, I have thought about sending you out inspirational texts every morning to get some of your I'm sorry, let me read this slowly. Shy's, hey Sam, have you thought about sending out inspirational texts every morning to some of your subscribers? No, I haven't. I'm really not. When I was in the church game, I used to get added onto like prayer list emails, like mass emails and even mass text. Even now, there's somebody like still that mass text me prayer lists, and like, you know, I'm not into that. Just my opinion. I'm not against that. There's some beautiful people who do it. So I think my videos, and so I think my videos on my Instagram account cover what's going on in my spirit. So I haven't really thought about doing any mass text. I kind of get a bad thing in my spirit when somebody adds me to those like chain emails. That's just me personally though. Thank you, O'Shea. Wandering soul. I used to give all the grace in the world. I used to play baseball. 3 strikes and you're out. Now, the second you show me you aren't who I thought you were, that's it. I mean, I'm the same way. Only once in a blue moon where I feel something different in the Holy Spirit, I may give it a second. I always leave room in my spirit for the Holy Spirit, right? So 99% of the time, I'm the same way as you, wandering soul. And that's why, like I say, I will support you, do whatever you need to do for you. You don't have to answer to anyone. But I always leave room for, like, if I feel something different, and I'll give it a second. But that's very rare. So please, I mean, for anybody who's been watching me from the beginning, they know that. I'm a traveling van. Yes, there is a time the axe must come down, definitely. Moods change. Character and attitude remains constant. Totally agree with that. Therefore, grace is afforded for discernment. Traveling van. That's very well said, brother. Very well said. Good job, traveling van. Thumbs up emoji to you. Great job, traveling van. Gilbert, if I could change one thing in my life, I think it would been to be able to distance myself from others. Well, that's powerful. Again, boundaries. There's no way you get to your destiny without boundaries. You have to have them. So you have to be loving and compassionate, but you got to have boundaries. You can't take any shit either to a certain point. I totally agree with that. Better Video Tubes, I hope you're still here. I love you, man. I'm with you, brother. Don't worry. I'm a traveling man. Everyone needs a little time. Yeah, we do. I mean, you know, everyone has their own path. I mean, like I said, if I look at certain things I did when I was younger versus where I am now at 37, different time. You know what I mean? That's wild how life is. Starback, stay hydrated. Thank you, brother. It's time for that diet Snapple. Praise the Lord. Drink more water and eat more plants. That'll help you. Thank you, Starpack. Love you, brother. I love you. Starpack, I haven't seen you take any drinks. Brother, that's why I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you all my heart, man. Never forget that. Carm 83, Wandering Soul, your dad is a saint, no doubt. I'm sure he had his issues too. Gilbert, I do believe I was blessed with discernment. I agree with that. I just seem a little too lenient with folks I try to see in the best in others. I understand that. Starpack, triple thumbs up. Thank you, man. I mean, thank you, everyone. I mean, I believe I shared what I felt led to share tonight. And that's what it is. I mean, sometimes it's very funny stuff. Sometimes it's a little bit serious, but that's part of life. You know, I'm all those things. Again, love and respect to everyone out there. Keep yourself in a healthy space. You're loved, you're respected. Please, everyone, we got to go forward. We got to go forward. We got to go forward. Do what you need to do. And keep pushing forward. Peace and love to you.